Hi everybody, right, so I'm just going to demonstrate a few hand fasting techniques. For those of you who are with me in the classroom, we're going to be going through these, don't panic. For those of you who aren't going to be with me in the classroom, I'll send you the video later, and you also can find lots of different videos on YouTube to have a look at. You've got your hand fasting ribbons which I've sent to you. Have a play, find some willing victims and just have some fun. There is no right or wrong way of doing a hand fasting. Like I say, these are just a few of the techniques for you to have a play with. Okay, we're just going to have a fiddle with a very, very simple one. As you can see, I've got 4 ribbons in front of me. If I can just get you to go left hand to left hand. The reason I do left hand to left hand is because that's where your pulse is running up to your heart and it's your hand closest to your heart. So it's very romantic. So simply lay your ribbons over. Ideally, your ribbons need to be 2 metres long, and you'll see why in a minute. These aren't quite 2 metres. And you just lay them all over. Have as many ribbons as you want, as many different colours. Each ribbon colour has a different meaning. Each material has a different meaning. This is a very, very simple one when all else fails. Literally bring the ribbons from behind to the front and over, and the ribbons in front to the back and over, and then you tie. Don't go up there, come down here because they've got to slip the hands out, and you will tie 3 knots, 1 for each of them, and then 1 for their continuing union. This is why you need 3 metres long, 2 metres long, ideally. Thank you, and just slip your hands out. And it can do something quite nice with them. Or if you mean, chuck them away. What I want you to do is put your hands, that's it, wrist to wrist. Okay, so we're going to go with 2 here. So the hand that is underneath, you hook the ribbon through their thumb and you bring it over the top and hook behind the thumb again. Try and get them as even as possible. The hand that is on the top, you hook it under the thumb there, coming over the back of the hand. That, trying to stand on it, and bring it over. You can move around, I'm just trying not to move around too much for the camera, and get them as even as possible. Okay, I'm going to step out the way because this is quite a dramatic self-tying knot, and I want you to step backwards, sliding your hands out and hold the knot above your head as you make the knot. Okay, go for it. Yay, cool. So with that one, it's quite fun to have lots of, you can have different ribbons. Obviously these are just 2 of my scarves that I'm playing with. You can have different ribbons, you can have different materials, you can have lace from dresses, you can have ties. If you know you want to remember somebody that's not with you, you could use somebody's tie. Anything goes, and as I said in the previous slot, all colours have a different meaning, all materials have a different meaning. Okay, can I get you to put your left hand to your left hand? So this one is as many colours and chords as you want. I'm using 3 this time. 1 to represent Richard, 1 to represent Evie, and 1 to represent their continuing union. Because I'm left-handed, I'm going to take hold of the chords with my left hand. You're tying a tie basically. So the back needs to come over and over again, as if you're tying a tie, and then it comes through the middle. Put the knot on top, you take hold of that, slip your hands out and pull the knot. And they've got their own infinity knot. And you can do all sorts of things with this. If you've got somebody that can make a nice little kind of rose out of it. I can't, I'm not very handy, but you know what I mean. You can do lots of nice things to keep hold of this as a nice little keepsake. Nice dramatic ribbon tying that the couple do for themselves. Okay, if I can get you to go left hand to left hand again. Again, another very simple one. If you just want to use 1 chord, drape it over like that and literally pull it through the middle and pull to tie. And the couple can lift the hands up. see this isn't wanting to tie very well because of the material, so you obviously get something that's a bit smoother than that. But the couple can just hold their hands up and say they've tied the knot like that and slip your hands out. Okay, very good to do with a tartan or something like that. It's very dramatic for the tartan. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to show you. This is quite a dramatic one. If anybody is into the Vikings, Britannia, Romans or anything like that, it's quite a dramatic one. It's really, really cool to get parents involved, especially mothers or grandparents. And what you would do is you would give, for instance, the mothers a cord. I've only got ribbon, but you give them a cord each, probably about 3 meters long. And at the part in the ceremony where you're going to do the hand fasting, they would stand up, you'd ask them to walk to the side of the ceremony space, to come up the aisle, holding the 2 ribbons aloft. They could either do the hand fasting or they could give it to you as the celebrants to do the hand fasting. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you actually do right to right for me, just so that it's easier to demonstrate. What they did in Britannia was literally start at the top of their arm and wind the way all the way down. Like that. So you can see nice contrasting colours, and they brought them together to tie in the middle. Like I say, my ribbon isn't long enough to do that, but it's tied in the middle. And what actually happened in Britannia is the groom's family were all murdered by the bride's family because they had a blood feud. We won't go into that today. We're just going to tie the knot and they're going to live happily ever after.